Who is Niamh? She was the epitome of the Red Guardian spirit, as described in the Song of a Dying World core book, embodying anarchist, bold, independent, survivor, and unpredictable. Being an executor in the Age of Legends, she accomplished many extraordinary deeds. However, who was Niamh the woman? What was her story, and how is it tied to Avalon? Unlike other executors whose tales span mere lifetimes, Niamh's story stretches across a millennium, shrouded in mystery with far less documented lore. Born in Camlan and raised by her mother, she briefly lived as a street urchin, very much so like Duana, the brown guardian spirit. But instead, Niamh decided to stay, driven by duty to care for her impoverished family. Barred from honest work as a homeless youth, Niamh mastered deception, lying, cheating, stealing, and conning, to ensure her mother never went hungry. A born manipulator, she danced on the edge of the law, her cunning securing survival in Camlan's unforgiving streets. After her mother's death left her truly alone, Niamh's rebellious ways persisted, though a yearning for simplicity flickered within. In her teens, during a drunken night, huddled in a corner, a rat approached, squeaking softly beside her. Rats always gravitated to Niamh, and she to them. Outcasts like her, despised yet resilient, merely surviving. She empathized with the rat, like it was a kindred spirit. Stroking the creature, inspiration struck. Niamh began training rats as accomplices, teaching them to pilfer coins, food, and purses with uncanny precision. Her rodent thieves proved brilliant, amplifying her notoriety. For years, she terrorized Camlan, becoming a fixture in its dungeons, her legend growing as both menace and mastermind. Then came the Red Death. When the plague consumed Camlan, Niamh's Port District haunts proved fortuitous because Arthur had established a perimeter against plague bearers. Her favorite tavern was behind the drawn lines. Eventually, the Red Death became untenable to defend against for Arthur, and he had to call for an exodus. With her rats, she stowed away on a civilian vessel, joining the mass exodus to Avalon. Arriving starved but alive, Niamh carved out a home in Tainted Grail, persisting in her thieving ways to feed herself and her rodent allies. Her antics made her a notorious nuisance, with guards debating exile to the weirdness. Alternating between lying low and honing her craft, she learned of Merlin's expedition to find the Lost Fleet on Avalon's far western side. Under multiple aliases with various money-making schemes, Niamh teetered on capture's edge. Next time, exile seemed certain. Though terrified of the weirdness, she calculated that Merlin's presence offered better protection than Tainted Grail's precarious tolerance. A war zone with the Archmage seemed safer than banishment. For newcomers, my Tainted Grail Lore Saga series details the full expedition. The quest for the Lost Fleet ended in catastrophe, decimated by four-dweller giants in Avalon's weirdness-drenched far west. Countless knights, lords, and captains fell, but Niamh slinked away from the worst. Her skills ill-suited for leadership or wilderness survival, she depended on the disciplines of others. She joined the emerging leaders not from heroism but calculation. Their company offered safety from the front lines. Crafting a convincing backstory, she secured their tolerance, clinging to Merlin, Sir Pelleas, and Captain Thebalt's coattails. Faking expertise when possible and leaning on allies when exposed, Niamh survived the eastward trek back to Tainted Grail. Amid tragedy, Merlin slain and Peleus fleeing, few leaders endured. The failed expedition, through much sacrifice, arrived at Tintagel. Niamh couldn't suppress laughter when King Arthur himself summoned her. Following Theobald, Cowlin, Nazar, and Duana into the war room, Arthur named them executors. While the others embraced the honor, Niamh saw punishment, yet dared not refuse the king. Soon she relished the irony. Guards who once jailed her would now have to salute her. Though the Age of Legends demanded Arthur's perilous missions, delaying her petty vengeance, Niamh bided her time, plotting future mischief with newfound authority. Niamh earned respect, her past as Camlin's thief nearly forgotten. She captained grand battles, defended Tintagel, and stood among Avalon's mightiest warriors. Though starkly different from the other four executors, she grew to cherish their camaraderie. They were true friends, a first in her life. Their bond deepened her selflessness. She yearned for their survival amid the war's horrors. The Executors' final Age of Legends mission took them to Tuathan's Four-Dweller capital to rescue Arthur, who was reshaping Avalon's heart to sustain humanity. Weaving weirdness, he forged Camelot, but the king collapsed from exhaustion. While her comrades rushed to aid the king, Niamh scanned the chamber, her thief's instincts overriding loyalty. Recalling Camelot's decadence in the homelands, she sought valuables amid the distraction and spotted the Holy Grail. Imagining rivers of wealth from selling it, she crept forward and seized it. Something extraordinary occurred at that moment as the heart of Tuathan began grasping at the Executors. As the tendrils reach you, they find something surprising tucked under your robe. A golden, warm goblet you stole from the cocoon while passing through the throne room. It was too tempting, too radiant. Without thinking too much, you ripped it out of its place above the throne. Two powers fight over you for a brief moment. The power from the pit that tries to transform you, and the power of the cup that tries to punish you for your blasphemous act. Finally, they reach a perfect equilibrium and forge all your quirks and contradictions into a single idea. Red like luxurious silk and fine wine, red like sudden betrayal, red like the blood that pumps in your veins and flushes your cheeks, red like raw meat. When you wake up, you are something more. You feel another presence in your body, somewhere at the back of your head. It is heavy, painful, a burden you will have to wear for centuries to atone for your sacrilege. Unlike the other executors, Niamh was denied the official title of Guardian Spirit. Her fate was far stranger. After the Age of Legends, she likely spent her days in Connacht during the Golden Age, only to die and immediately reincarnate as a newborn elsewhere on Avalon. Vague memories of past lives haunted her, driving her to repeat patterns of rebellion, joining bandits, conning the unwary, and sowing chaos until death claimed her again. This eternal cycle, same appearance, same cunning nature, served as punishment for stealing the Holy Grail, confusing those who recognized the echoes of her past incarnations. This cycle was exhausting, tormenting, and endless. As centuries weighed upon her, Niamh desperately sought escape, joining adventurers for good deeds, hoping virtue would break the curse. Yet no redemption ended her torment. During the fall of Avalon in Connacht, she confided her tale to Aubert, the traveler who believed her amid his myriad of strange encounters. After the first expedition's failure, Niamh joined the second as a favor to Aubert, aiding from the shadows. Discovering his body while retracing the first expedition's path, She vowed to honor him, becoming a wanderer like her lost friend, until death pulled her back into the cycle. Soon, the fall of Avalon was complete. Through Avalon's eternal autumn, it turned to the Century of Mists, when communities fortified against the virulent weirdness. Niamh endured, reborn each time. Society eventually re-emerged with Mistfarers charting routes, leading to the era of the Last Night. Reincarnated in Mangrove Huddle, where Arthur first landed with his fleet, Niamh finally became a community pillar, her restless spirit finding purpose amid the unchanging curse. Niamh's curse spanned nearly 40 incarnations, her memories a chaotic torrent of lives unlived and sins unatoned. Desperate to end the eternal cycle, she ventured into Avalon's bitter cold with fellow adventurers, traversing a dying island where survival grew hopeless. Many events unfolded here, which will be saved for future lore videos. And also, if you were watching in like 2026, they might already be on the channel. But guided by the Pale Lady, they reached Tuathan's heart once more, seeking to reshape Avalon for humanity's future. There, Niamh's memories surged, the golden goblet she had stolen a millennium ago from its cocoon above the throne. This time, instead of grasping power, she extended her hand to commune with Tuathan's heart. Recognizing the stolen essence she'd carried through countless lives, Niamh offered it back, seeking catharsis. As the forbidden power returned to its source, the cycle was finally shattered. For the first time in ages, Niamh felt release. Her burden was lifted, her soul finally could be at rest. From thief to eternal wanderer to reluctant savior, Niamh's saga closed not in betrayal but in redemption, leaving Avalon to face its fate with one less cursed soul wandering its paths. The cycle of living countless lives was finally gone, and she would be able to put it to rest. Niamh's journey from rebellious con artist to undying tormented soul is the oddball of the Guardian Spirits, as she never even got the title. Her story weaves a rich tapestry of anarchy, fate, and redemption, embodying the essence of the Red Guardian Spirit, and standing as a true exemplar. Thank you for watching this deep dive into Niamh's lore. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, consider joining our Discord, and share your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned for more Tainted Grail character breakdowns, and yeah, I'll be seeing you guys next time. See you later. Bye-bye.